It's been 25 years since the tragic shooting at Columbine High School. And for all that time, the legacy and memory of 17-year-old Rachel Joy Scott, who was killed in that shooting, has changed lives, including my own. The organization, Rachel's Challenge, founded by her father, Darrell Scott, has trained more than 30 million students, educators, and parents on school violence prevention and preventing self-harm, saving, listen to this, 150 lives annually and averting 9 school shootings. Joining us now is the founder of Rachel's Challenge, Darrell Scott. Darrell, you and I are friends. It's an honor to have you on. And I want to begin by sharing with you and bringing up the impact Rachel Joy Scott had on my life. She changed my life. She changed my walk as a Christian. And I want to put forward some of her journal entries. You discovered 6 of her journals after her passing. And here are some of the things that she wrote. She really had a kind of, I would say, premonition of what lied ahead. She wrote this 11 months before Columbine. This will be my last year. I have gotten what I can. That was in her journal. She also traced her hand, and you'll see this here for our viewers. These hands belong to Rachel Joy Scott and will someday touch millions of people's hearts. Indeed, they have. She even wrote this: I'm dying quickly, my soul leaves, slowly my body withers. It isn't suicide, I consider it homicide. And of course, she would go on to lose her life in Columbine. And then this final picture, Darrell, is a picture of 2 eyes and 13 what you believed were tears, but now you believe they're seeds. This was the drawing shortly before she lost her life. And of course, 13 innocents died in Columbine. Darrell, tell us about Rachel.
Well, Rachel was my middle child, and she was the one that was always bringing home the stray cat or stray dog and standing up for the underdog, the person that was being picked on or teased or bullied. And so much of our programming is centered around stories about her life and what she did when she was at Columbine before she was killed.
Yeah, you know, Rachel's Challenge, it's incredible. I think our viewers, a lot of them, we hear about these school shootings. They strike our hearts, and people want answers, and they want change, and they want to make sure they never happen again. And Rachel's Challenge, tell us how you do it. Averting 9 school shootings. That is quite a track record. 150 suicides per year.
Well, the Centers for Disease Control tell us that the #1 reason for suicide is kids not being connected, not feeling a part of something. And almost every school shooting is a suicide with homicides involved. The young men or young women that go into the school know that they're going to die. It's a suicide by homicide kind of approach. So we go into schools and we share Rachel's story through an assembly. We do trainings. We create what's called Friends of Rachel clubs. There's over 10,000 of those all across America. And those clubs do amazing things to help kids connect with each other. And it's through those connections that we see young people actually turn themselves in, or their friends turn them in, when they find out that there's plans to blow up a school or shoot a school. So we have prevented 9. One of them was prevented last month.
Wow.
A young man had plans, and a friend turned him in after an assembly. But even more importantly is we see about 150 suicides that we know of prevented every year, and that's because we bring connection to those young people in their schools. And the 150 is only the tip of the iceberg. For every child like my daughter who was killed at Columbine, there's 362 children who commit suicide.
Wow. And I remember vividly her funeral. I remember friend after friend getting up and saying how Rachel Joy Scott changed their life. She had a message. She had a life code. A chain reaction of compassion would be initiated if we were all kind to one another. And indeed, we've seen the legacy of that in Rachel's Challenge. You wrote a book about Rachel's life. I've read just about every page of it. It's an incredible book. Could you hold it up and share with us what it's about?
Yes, it's about 300 pages long. It's a detailed account of not only her life and death, but the aftermath, the legacy that she's left behind, the millions, 31 million children that have been affected by her life and her story over the last 25 years. And it has over 60 QR codes that lead to videos. So it's not just a book. It's also full of video clips that young people can go to and find out more about her life and her legacy.
Well, Rachel has changed many lives. She has saved many lives. There was a lot of darkness on the day of Columbine, but her light shined brighter, and it's changing lives today, and so are you. Thank you, Darrell Scott.
Thank you, Kaylee.